Hello to all you yids out there. This is the Heart Now Here Spurs Fans Podcast, a podcast for a bunch of yids to all you yids around the world. And I'm back from the House of Mouse, from bloody Orlando, Florida. I do apologize that I've been away, but the gang have been smashing it. Even if the team hasn't always been smashing it, but we're all back together, and it's a fantastic episode ahead, especially on the back of a win yesterday and a good point away from home in midweek up in Newcastle, which we'll talk all about. It's myself, Lee Tarrier, Matty Kerr, Kevin Dennis, TJ Smith. How you doing, boys? You all right?
Yeah, mate. Home win.
Mate. All good.
Home wins. I feel good.
Sounds a lot better than you, mate. Sounds like you got food.
You know what happened? No, do you know what happened? Yesterday, I went to Scala for a garage brunch. And I don't know what's happened to my voice. I was skanking out for about 12 till about 3, and then I was done. But I must have been singing along. Something in your eye. All that bollocks.
Fucking tune that.
You know what?
Yeah, it is a tune. It is a tune, boy. It is a bloody tune.
I went to Scala once, and I've never returned there again. Leeds, it's still like proper ropey.
Yeah, but that's kind of its beauty, though, in a way, because it's like a proper old school ravey type thing. But it was wicked, honestly. Those brunches are the one. I don't want to be out at 10 o'clock at night anymore. I want to go out at 12. I want to get fucked up till 8, and then I'm home. It was brilliant. Yeah. Apart from my voice, yeah, that weren't the greatest. But you know, I ain't got to do the talking today because I mean we'll start. Kev, Newcastle, Wednesday night. Saw the pictures, heard about the stories. You know, we got back on track with that 2-2. Tell us about your experience. You've been there before. It hasn't been as nice. How was this one?
Yeah, mate. I think this is what I think that point up there has probably turned the corner for us. I thought we was. I mean, what I remember of the game, we wasn't fantastic up there in terms of, especially the first half. But I thought the second half, I thought we showed a bit of character in terms of the game. So yeah, obviously getting a point up there is a good result for anybody. But yeah, it sort of led onto the night. Put us in right good spirits for a night. And as you boys know, you've been up to Newcastle every night. It's a Friday night or a Saturday night. And I was always going to find a bar open until 4 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday night. And gate crash people's graduation parties and in nightclubs and be the centre of attention, as we do when we go away. We always seem to.
Hold on, well, tell us about the Tuesday stroke Saturday night that was. Where was that? What was going on? What's this graduation party?
Yeah, no, we ended up in a bar. I mean, I only went to 2 bars that night. So the bar we finished up in was a bar called Filthy's, which sounds a bit fucking seedy, but it wasn't. And yeah, it was just like this bird was having a graduation thing, and my mate was looking over her, and I remember her sticking her finger up at him because he was having a look at her, not in that way, but just having a look at her. And her bloke got the ump. So I thought, fuck me, it's going to go off. We've only been in there an hour. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to the toilet. I don't want to get any fucking rows. I'm going to go to the toilet. I'll come back and see what's happening. And we came back and everyone was laughing and cuddling and fucking everything else. And then we ended up going to this other place and going to a party and just fucking steaming in there and making it a bit of a Tottenham thing. And we made a lot of fucking friends that night.
I love that.
Yeah, Newcastle's got that thing about it where you go out and get on it. And I've never had a bad night up there, and everyone's friendly, and it's a uni, so there's a uni there, so everyone's coming up there from different places. And yeah, some photos woke up to of us in photo booths with fucking things on our faces and all sorts. So yeah, really good night. But yeah, I think the result just sort of made the night even better, you know, because I was quite proud of them. They got a point, and like everyone else, I thought we was going to get hammered up there. So. Yeah, really, really enjoyable night, mate, and just showed a bit of character, I thought, just to get a point up there, and I think that was really, really important going into the Brentford game. So, yeah, I mean, Newcastle's a great place if you haven't been. Definitely get up there, and if you can put Spurs, if you can mix Spurs in there with it, it's even better.
But I think, like,
ask him why he had to stay till 4 in the morning.
What was that? Where was you 4 in the morning?
Ask him why he had to stay out.
Oh yeah, why?
Ask him about his bed situation.
Yeah, so basically the geezer who booked, we're only going to get our head down for a couple of hours, but we was in a room where there was 3 bunk beds in a room, and
it wasn't a bunk bed. It was a bunk bed with a coffin underneath, and Kev pulled the coffin.
With me being 2'6", I fucking just got in there nice and slept great. But yeah, between three of us, it cost 50 quid between three of us. So, and we weren't the only Spurs that were staying in there. So really
Wow.
narrow walls. It was a small room, small beds, but yeah, slept like a baby, mate. Because we drank so much, and even before the match, we was in bars and doing shots, and there was barmaids doing higher and lower with dice and to take shots and pay how you pay for your shots. And yeah, it was a really good night. And yeah, if you ain't been to Newcastle, definitely get up there. It's fucking
It's
brilliant.
amazing, isn't it?
Look, he had to sleep like a baby, mate, because he had to swaddle him so he didn't roll over and hit his head.
I had a bed guard on it.
But saying that, like with Newcastle, you're so high up, aren't you? You're like the gods. Do you feel like that the players can feel the energy from the fans?
Well, I mean, I thought we was loud in there, and I've heard from people watching on the telly that you could hear Spurs. And normally, obviously, they put you up there to make sure the players don't hear you because it's so high up there. But I thought we were really loud in there, and there was quite a few in there as well. There weren't many empty seats in there, which was quite shocking, really, because it was a Tuesday night. But even in the gangways before, there weren't a lot of people I recognised, so you can tell that people were getting a chance to go away for the first time because it was Tuesday night. There was loads of tickets flying around. But then people who probably don't go a lot made it a good atmosphere, if you know what I mean, because they're excited to be there. It's the first away game, probably. A lot of young youngsters up there as well. So yeah, I thought they made it great. And I thought like we sung them to a bit of a point in the end. I mean, I think that another 5 or 10 minutes, we probably could have won the game. I thought their backs were on against the ropes. So
Oh wow.
yeah, really good.
Yeah, brilliant goal as well, wasn't it? Well, you know, to get that kind of goal from your centre half last minute, it's exactly the way. How did it pop
We
off and
celebrated
score?
that overhead kick like it was fucking Rooney's against Man City or Bale's for Real Madrid. And when we watched it back, it fucking, I don't know how it crept in off his shin, but he still had to do it, and he still scored. So for me, best overhead kick I've ever seen.
But no, that was a good start to what has been a Premier League week in many ways because of the two fixtures. We go back home to Brentford. We've had a terrible year. I think it worked out to what, 700 before yesterday, £766 on average per home win over the calendar year for your season ticket, which is mad. But Matty, we go back home Saturday against Brentford, Frank's old team, and we do a job on them. What did you think of it?
To be fair, mate, I only watched really the first half. Now I had to go to the Jingle Bell Ball, so I've only seen the highlights of the second half. But no, look, it's good to get back to winning ways. It's good to get a win at home, and the best thing was unleashing Xavi Simons, like just getting him going, you know. And I think that was a positive as well. I always say this about Jed Spence: he can make every winger look bang average when he's playing left back. You put him right back, he's absolute terrible. Put him left back, he's like every winger wants to cut in on their left foot, and that's it. And with his pace and strength, he just takes the ball off him like on his strongest side. So I definitely think Spence as a left back is like a priority. I think in the January transfer window we need to look at a backup right back, if I'm honest. But I think yesterday was good. The atmosphere sounded good. Like my partner and that they went and they said, mate, atmosphere was brilliant yesterday. And I think it was just the relief of finally getting 3 points at home again, you know. But there's no point beating Brentford if we don't go and beat Forest.
True. But was the Jingle Bell Ball worth it?
Was, mate. I was crying away to Ed Sheeran, mate. Oh, mate. Do you know what, mate? It was good. Like me and Flo went, so it was good, mate. It was good.
Nice. But I guess, TJ, you know, what to build on what Matt said there, Simons, in particular, he's had a lot of stick. We've said, what are we seeing from him? Now Matt said he was unleashed. Do you think that was what it was? Do you think that it was the right game for him? Do you think we've been playing him, or Frank's been playing him in the right way? How did you see it yesterday with him? Because he stood out, scored and assist.
I'm back. I don't know what happened there. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. I was just asking about like Xavi Simons. What did you think was different about him yesterday? What did you goal and assist? Great.
We're going to gloss over the Jingle Bell Ball, yeah? The fact that Matt missed football for a concert. All right. I love how he mentioned flow at the end to get away
He's
with
never
it.
he's never had any shame, mate. Don't be surprised,
mate.
mate. He's never had any shame.
Hang on, yeah. I'm honest when I miss Spurs, yeah. TJ's not honest when he leaves Spurs. Says I've got plans, but deep down his missus ain't letting him go, and he needs to start being honest. I'm honest when I miss Spurs.
Are you going Tuesday? You going Tuesday?
I'm not. No, I've got a ticket.
Whose concert you going to next?
No. Look, TJ,
Going to watch the Tweenies or something.
Look, listen, it's a points priority game. Yeah, I've bought the ticket, but someone's going. That's all you need to know.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going. All right. So no excuses for me. No, but yeah. Listen. Sorry. Back to the main point. Xavi Simons, right? He's always had that, right? We've always I know I've said to him he's just not delivered at all in any game. But I've always said you can see a player there. I've just found that he's not up to pace and he's definitely too lightweight. They're my two issues at the moment with him. And he just shrugged all that off on Saturday. I felt like he had, to be fair, Matt used the right words. He was unleashed at the weekend. And I thought like the drive for him to win the ball back and then go and get his goal, I thought that was brilliant. Got the assist. I'm not getting ahead of myself here. The guy's a player. He's got a lot to come. Yeah, but it's one game. It's one game against a side that are terrible away from home. So, but I'm starting to see glimpses of the player that we paid 60 million for. So, and that's what I'm starting to like. Like I'm starting to see a player turn that potential into output, and that's what I think we saw against Brentford at the weekend. I think if I'm being honest with you, I think the two games were a little bit different, by the way, Newcastle and Brentford. I thought the Newcastle game, we was on the back foot for most of it. And we just, I think, what was it? 2 shots on target, both from the defender. And I mean, his overhead kick, fucking, it bounced more times than me trying to play pool. Do you know what I mean? It's mad. Like, honestly, the fact he even went in is just insane. But you get the result up there, and that shows you the confidence. That's a hard place to go. And then you come back, and Brentford, I thought was the opposite. I thought they played what we've been crying out for: play on the front foot, play attacking, take it to them, like make them play our game at our pace, and that's what we were missing. And I think Xavi Simons, that suited him perfectly, and I think that's why you saw the performance you did from him. But listen, it's one game. It's a December fixtures coming thick and fast now. Well, it's going to be a tough run, but at the end of the day, 4 points from them games, I'd have bit your hand off.
Yeah, I mean, the league is really open. We've seen that with the teams that have lost, who were above and whatnot. It was interesting, Simmons come up a lot. Jed Spence come up a lot when I was looking at different things today. And then I watched, obviously, the highlights on Match of the Day. Another stat, and I'm going to come to you, Kim, on that, is out of his last 24 Premier League starts for Spurs, Richarlison has scored 17 goals. He's on form. He's unorthodox, but he's on form and he scores goals. What did you think of him over the last couple of games?
I mean, especially the Brentford game, I thought he was really good. Just his hold-up play of just popping it off and the ball sticking to his feet, which hasn't really happened in recent months, I don't think. I mean, one of the boys just dropped it in the group chat about an hour ago about the Richarlison stats, and we said we was going to talk about it on here, funny enough. So, yeah, as you mentioned, it's something that's going around, and probably a lot of people are debating it. My thing is my problem with him is consistency. I think all good strikers are consistent, and I think with a better striker, we probably score more goals in games, and maybe win more football matches. In that sense, I mean, like we keep saying, I repeat all the time, we can never knock him for his terms of passion and wanting to be great. It's just, for me, it's just levels, and I think where we want to be, I don't think he's that striker to spearhead us there. Listen, there ain't many Harry Kanes about, but we need to start finding the next one of them, the next guy who's going to be consistently scoring 25, 30 goals year in, year out, like some of the best teams have had over the last few years. So he isn't a finished article for me in that sense. I think he's a mid-table striker. We're a mid-table team at the moment, so it kind of works But if we want to challenge at the highest, he isn't the striker for us. And the price we've paid for him, he probably should have scored more goals and played more football matches than he actually has. So I won't get too excited about the stats. I'm still itching for Dom Solanke to come back like everyone else.
Oh yeah.
But it's an option there if one of them gets injured, or we can go out wide. Moani's just coming into it, so it's healthy competition. But yes, fair play. He's got the goals, but long term, not for me.
Wow.
So Tech, very quickly, yeah. So the point that was being made is that he's got 18 months left on his contract.
Yeah.
So basically, from January, he's probably going to start like exploring options, or like we could potentially sell him, right? Because otherwise, he starts entering the last year of his contract.
Yeah.
So the question posed to us in the group chat from someone else was, do we renew his contract in January? That was the question. Or do we look to offload him? And the stats were basically reeled off on the back of that. So that I said we'll debate on here because I think it's a great question.
What would you do?
No, I think we sell Richie in January. No, I do. I think if we're going to cash him, we cash him in now, and we try and get another striker. I think deep down, Richarlison enjoys playing for Spurs. I think he gets a hell of a lot of stick. He does score, like he does. And when he's given the opportunity, I know he's a nightmare, and he's either like Marmite, you either like him or you don't. But I think if we want to get to Champions League next season and we want a big second half push, we need upgrades on certain players in that starting 11.
Right, so you'd sell him. I thought you'd say no. I was
no. I'd sell Rich in December and then go and get another striker. We need for us to get back into that top 4, top 5 in our starting 11 team. We need to be a bit more ruthless and upgrade certain players.
It's true. It's very true there. Because
if we're going to bring in potentially a left winger, we're going to need to look to offload Richarlison that to bring money in to bring someone in. So
then, I guess, Matt, staying with you, what do you think Moani can bring for the second half of the season? Do you think there's enough about him?
I do. Do you know what? I liked him on the left-hand side yesterday. I did. I liked him on the left yesterday. But is that a one-off game? Is he going to be able to sustain that throughout the whole season? We're going to need another option on that left-hand side.
He certainly looks fitter. Fucking hell.
Yeah. I don't think Odobert and Tell are what we need for the second half of the season to try and push us into that top 5, So Minani might be all right at the moment. However, if we're going to need to change things up in certain games. We may need to put him as a striker and someone else left winger. I think if you can play Kolo and then Solanke as your 2 strikers, like one starts, one don't, and then bring in another left winger, I would offload Richarlison in January.
Interesting. And I guess, there's one player we talked about, and another big talking point last week, TJ, was goalkeeper, Vicario. What's been your thoughts over the last couple of games? What's your thoughts long term with him?
The Vicario debate for me is a tough one. Like, I'm not going to lie, because I get so much Lloris vibes from Vicario. Do you know what I mean? Like I think he's a great shot stopper, and he'll definitely keep us in games. I think the mistakes he's made recently are just bad, really bad, like just poor from him. It's hard because you don't want to hold him to these mistakes, but they're quite basic things when you think about it. And that for me is something that I struggle with, like the decision making in certain situations. But he's still a great keeper. Like if you're looking at an old fashioned keeper, he's still great. My question is, if listen, I don't really like the booing of the fan, like from the fans mid game. Like it's a strange one that like I don't think I've ever booed my own player mid game like this. But I'm not one of these people who say I think Frank was wrong for what he said. Like I do think people are entitled to express themselves in a stadium however they want, especially when we ain't fucking winning games like all the time and it's down to shit fucking mistakes like that. But who else are you going to put in there? Like who are you going to go and get that's going to choose the team they're currently in to come to Tottenham? And this is my problem. Like I think sometimes it's better the devil you know. I don't think Vicario is a bad keeper at all. I think some of his decision making is poor, and his distribution isn't the best. But when we're playing it long and you need someone who's capable between the sticks, I think Vicario does the job well. And that's my issue. I think people are very quick to jump on the individual mistakes because when a goalkeeper creates them, it's costly, regardless. And so sometimes you've got to just be careful what you wish for in these situations. And unless someone top, like world class, is coming available, I don't think you twist with Vicario.
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Sorry, Lee, just before you move on, I just want to mention a player who I thought was really impressive against Brentford. And he gets a lot of stick, and there was people giving him stick up at Newcastle before the game, and I was even with someone last night, and they're still giving him stick. I thought Bentancur against Brentford was fucking fantastic, and he done a 6 tight roll where he sits there and anchors it, and people said he couldn't do that. And I've always said he's got a mix of everything. He can do it. He might be better at something than the other in a role, but I thought he played that 6 really well at SD. And I don't think personally, from my opinion, that he gets enough credit sometimes for how well he does. They're quite easy to shit on him, like some of our fan base with most players. But I thought he deserves a bit of credit SD, and I was really, really impressed with him and Richarlison, obviously, and then Simmons. But yeah, for me, Bentancur I thought was unbelievable. I thought he definitely deserves a mention.
Do you think sometimes he's too sideways with his passing? I felt he unlocked a bit more under Conte when he first came. He looked for those passes. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think in this team, I think he's put in there sometimes with Paulinho to be a bit more defensive side of it. I think he has got that thing of going forward, but I think he can anchor as well. He's probably not better than Paulinho at it, but I think if you ever haven't got Paulinho, you're trying to rotate. I don't think he's out of his depth doing that. But yeah, his job in there is just to get it up, whether it goes sideways or whatever it is. As long as he cuts it up and he plays it out there and gets out, I'm fine with that. But I like his tenacity. He's got the South American thing about him. But there is a good footballer as well in him. So I think we're quite lucky to have an anchor man who can play ball as well and play in an 8 or a 10. So yeah, I think he's doing all right this year. I think he gets a hard time, I think, for no reason for me.
That's fair. And I think, one of the first things you said, Kev, when we started chatting today was about turning the corner. Just looking at the stats, like it was a good XG, 2.15 against their 0.29. We had more possession, which is great. We had 15 shots, 7 on target. That's not been happening at home. When you say about turning the corner, did you see enough yesterday to go, right, yeah, let's take to things? We know it's Brentford. We know they're not the best, and we know they're in a transition of themselves. They're sort of, you never know what you're going to get with them. But from what we saw yesterday, do you think there's enough to go to the next big games? Prague is a massive game. Forest is a massive game. Do you think we can get what we need from those 2 games based on what you've seen?
Well, yeah. I mean, you're talking about the opposition being a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, we're that mixed bag as well at home. Yeah. So you kind of never know what you're going to get with the opposition, and you never know what you're going to get with us. But I thought yesterday, we started on the front foot, and we keep moaning about the supporters in there. And I think the atmosphere yesterday, yes, we got off to a fly and we went 1-0 up, so everyone's happy. Would it have been the same with 1-0 down? Not sure. But it just shows you when the crowd's up for it and things like the Simmons moment is happening and everyone's happy, it's a hard place to come and win at. But when the chips are down and everyone's negative, for me, it's an easy place for that because the players sort of, they give up sometimes when the fans are giving up, and that can't happen. And we keep beating on about how important the crowd is. And I thought the crowd were great, and I think it spurred us on to be as good as we was. And that has to carry on now with Prague. Obviously, we've got Forest away. The away support is always fantastic. But when we come to Liverpool after that, it needs to be the same. And if we can keep that, and this game now can be a bit of a, listen, we can play well at home. We can be on the front foot. We can punish. We can be quick in the press. I mean, it's just one of them things. Football, it just changes so much. It changes direction so much with form. And one little win like that could just change everything. So consistently, it's about, as a club, all together, can we now push on and make that home a fortress for the rest of the season? Yeah.
And I think finally, as we wrap up after this week and what's happened, I'll just ask you for your Hotspur from yesterday. Matty, who was your man of match? Who was your Hotspur?
I got to give it to Simmons yesterday, You got to.
Yeah. TJ?
Yeah, mate, same. Simons. I think Simons for yesterday and obviously Romero for Tuesday. I think they're in each game. I think those players were the difference makers.
Kev, staying with the 3.
Yeah, clean sweep for me with Simmons. I think, a question on last week's pod, about his body language. He looked miserable and all that. And there's probably a lot of pent-up frustration. But when he scored that goal, I mean, you saw the fucking happiness and the relief in him. And his teammates as well, and the crowd. I mean, I don't think that crowd is roaring as loud as that for any other player scoring that goal. I mean, it was a moment that we've all been waiting for, because we need this kid to arrive. We need him to explode. And a bit like what I just said about things can change direction really quick. That is kind of maybe what he needed now to now push on, start games more, feel more confident. You know what it's like, boys. When you're confident, whatever you're doing, you feel invincible at it. And hopefully this is a turning point for him as well. But yeah, just for that moment and a great goal as well, definitely my man of the match.
Brilliant. Well, I'll come back to your predictions for the next 2 games at the end of the pod. But right now, I mean, we are very, very honoured to have a special guest. I must say, our proud sponsors, Offermas and Hotspur Heritage, have been instrumental in showcasing who we're going to have on today's show. And we put a lovely poster out, and it's had a lot of traction, which is great, because, this is something really, really, really great for us. So, no more waiting. What I think we should do is introduce somebody who is a real unit. When I say a real unit, I'm going to even go by what I've seen on his Instagram when I say he's a fridge. He is the Vanilla Gorilla. He is none other than UFC fighter Louis Sutherland. He's here. Louis, you here, mate? I think you're on mute, mate.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you, mate.
Yeah, sorry, I muted my mic by accident. Sorry, boys.
How you doing, Lou?
No.
All
You're
good,
right,
all good, thanks. Yeah, all good, thank you. Nice introduction. I like that.
Oh, no. I was looking online today, and I was like, how am I going to do this? I was going to try and do Michael Buffer, but I wouldn't be able to do it any other big justice. So, Louis, big Spurs fan. I always ask Louis, we have guests on, what's your take on Spurs at the moment? Are you a Frank fan? How you think it's going based on what you've been hearing and seeing over the season?
Being a Spurs fan is always up and down, as obviously you well know. But I am a Frank fan, because I've heard a few things now. Frank out, he's not the right fit. But I personally think that if you look at the previous managers, who else are we going to get to come in and fill the shoes? Who's going to want to take the job on as well? And look at all the managers that have gone on. They've gone on to do decent stuff, I don't think it's the managers, if I'm honest. I think there's something else sort of collectively going on. And I think Frank is a good manager. I think he's tactically pretty good. And every time I watch Spurs, I don't know what I'm going to get, but I hope for 3 points every time.
Yeah. That's all we can ask for. I mean, Matty was saying off air before we come on that you was the right baller when you used to play 5-a-side. Did you play 5-a-side together, you, Matt? Is that what it was?
I wouldn't say I was a baller. I was more of a enforcer.
Right,
baller.
got you.
Yeah,
right. You're the man who cleaned up.
Lee, when Louis plays football, do you know, like if you look at a size 1 football, you playing now, he looks tiny, yeah? When he's playing with a size 5, he looks like an egg.
We need that in a team, don't you? You need that in a team. Breaks it up. But then I guess, Louis, you're a Tottenham lad through and through, right?
I am. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was born and bred in Tottenham. Family still live in Tottenham now. I've only moved slightly out. I'm only in Enfield at the minute, so I'm still in the manor, I guess.
Yeah.
But Tottenham's my home.
Amazing. And I guess, this doesn't happen every day. You know what I mean? A local lad who goes on to the biggest platform in mixed martial arts, which is the UFC. Talk a little bit about your journey, how you went from, being at Tottenham and you start there to get into the biggest show in the game.
Yeah, I mean, how far do you want me to go back? I mean, childhood or?
Yeah, I think, when did you first go, right, I'm gonna pick up a gloves or, or get in it.
Probably not in people out for the dinner money, I reckon.
No, saying that, it was probably my cousins beating me up, thinking, I want to get my cousins back. So, Matty will probably know all about that, my cousins being older than me. And
Tommy's got a lot to answer for.
He has, to be fair. Yeah, Tommy wasn't that nice to me when I was a kid, so I thought, no, I'm only kidding. But so what it was, I was about 11 years old, and I was always I played football, always outside my nan's in Tottenham, like Tower Gardens. playing football with the bigger boys and stuff. I wasn't exceptionally great at football. I was all right. I could keep up with most people. But then my dad took me to a boxing gym down in Haringey, Tottenham Sports Centre. And I was boxing on and off from the age of about 11 or 12, just on and off, a year here. I'll take 6 months off and I'll go back to it.
Was that Haringey Police? Is that?
Yeah, it was Haringey, Haringey Boxing Club. And I think it was like funded by the police or something.
That's it. Yeah.
It was,
So opposite
just
ground.
Literally just opposite the ground. Yeah, because my dad actually lived on Bruce Grove. On Tottenham High Road, just off of Bruce Grove. So it was just down the road from his flat. So went in there, loved it. Obviously, having loads of cousins, bigger cousins, I was always, needing to defend myself. So and then also when you're walking around the streets of Tottenham, it's not always safe. So I think my dad thought, let me chuck him into this. But fast forward a few years, I stopped playing rugby because I started playing rugby as a teenager.
Yeah.
And then after I stopped playing, I sort of went back to the boxing, and then found out I sort of still had something, and I thought, let me give this a go. And that was about 5 years ago now.
Wow.
And then just hit it off from there and decided to turn professional, and the UFC was my goal, and here I am, I guess.
Mate, that's amazing. I mean, how do you? What are those steps? From putting the gloves on to a couple of fights, going from semi-professional, amateur, and then going right. I can make it to the biggest game.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I would always refer it back to most other sports, like grassroots sports. You always got to do, those sort of smaller ones, the smaller shows. You go in there, you got to sell tickets. If you're a good ticket seller, it sort of helps. That kind of stuff. And so I started off on the local circuit. I think my debut was in Barnsley. I couldn't find anyone to fight. No one didn't know who I was at the time because I'd just come from rugby and I didn't have an amateur career. So everyone was sort of like, who's this guy that just wants to turn pro? And then they offered me some big Lithuanian fella up in Barnsley, and he was an unbeaten amateur turning pro. So went up to Barnsley. There was about 45 deep, and took a minibus load and knocked the geezer out in the first round, and then sort of went on from there. But
Lou, was this boxing or MMA?
This was MMA. MMA. Yeah.
So, how did you transition from boxing to MMA?
All right. So once I went back to boxing, I went down to Islington Boxing Club, and then at the time, I think Conor McGregor was really big. He was sort of, that kind of stuff. And I thought, you know what? Let me just give it a try. Let me go and find an MMA gym because it was getting big at the time. And I was pretty handy with the hands. So I thought, what's the harm in adding some kicks and some wrestling? So I found a little gym down in Edmonton. And went to my first MMA session there. Decided to box the guys. We've done a bit of sparring. It was my first session. And then I thought I could box the life out of them, and then the geezers just kicked my leg to pieces. And I thought, this is a completely different game. So I just started training from there. Then obviously I think a few of the guys found out that I was okay, I could hold my own, and a few of the pros started inviting me to the pro sparring in the mornings. So I started doing that, and I think I was holding my own with those guys. And at the time, these guys were, I don't know if you've heard of other shows like Bellator, Cage Warriors, that type of stuff. They were sort of cemented their place there, and I was holding my own. So I just turned around and said, boys, what do you think? I'm going to turn pro. And they were like, yeah, I mean, you're hanging with us in the gym. There's no reason why you can't hang with anyone else in the country, give it a go. So that was kind of how I made the transition. And like I said, found that fight in Barnsley, knocked the geezer out, and I thought, I've arrived now. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that's the thing, because, like you say, that transition, how hard did you find it at first to go from, using power in punches and the movement of the upper half of your body and the strength of your legs to actually then using your legs as an attack weapon? And, was that something that happened quickly, or did it take a bit of time?
Yeah, if I'm honest, it did come quite quickly because I think the football helped. I even say to my son now, playing football helped me with my footwork, and it also helped me to become a better rugby player. And I think all of those sports, playing all sports when you're younger, just helped me. When I did finally transition to MMA, using my feet wasn't alien to me. I'd always used my feet. So it just kind of came quite natural. The thing that was hardest to do was more sort of the wrestling than the jiu-jitsu, because it isn't just the same as running into someone on a rugby pitch. There's a lot more to it. So I think that was probably the hardest part, and that's probably been my kryptonite as well. Even through my professional career at the minute, just those sort of wrestlers that want to lay on you and suck your energy. So
So that first fight in Barnsley, what was his sort of domain when you took him on? Was he similar in style to you, or was it, how was that?
Yeah, we didn't look the same. I mean, I didn't have a six-pack on. I think I just looked like I rocked up after a Sunday dinner, and then this geezer was a big, chiseled Lithuanian fella, tanned. He looked like something out of a movie, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
And I think once you see that, and you see, I was opposite him. No one knew who I was. He was a stand-up guy, to be fair. I think as an amateur, he had knocked 8 people out. He was 8-0, 8 knockouts. He was turning pro. And I think they thought, let's just bring this geezer up from London that fancies a scrap. And then, we just sort of went toe-to-toe a little bit, and I managed to clip him before he clipped me. And went on from there,
Amazing. And so then what happens after that then? So you come back from that, people go, oh, yeah, there's someone here. How does it build for you as a fighter and a team that you then get around you, and then the following fights? How did it all start to build from that?
Yeah, so obviously from that, people then know who you are, and then you've got people reaching out to go, do you fancy fighting on this show? We heard you sold this many tickets. You fancy coming to fight in London, for example, on a smaller show, like on a small show, blah, blah, blah. So that's kind of how it was when I got my second fight. And normally, I personally think, you kind of get an apprenticeship. Like in boxing, you kind of, you cut your teeth with a few journeymen. That kind of didn't really happen for me. I kind of got thrown in there with this geezer. Then I got offered a fight in Crystal Palace against some European grappling champion. It was about 6'7" and about 140 kilos. It was a big unit. And I thought, cut me some slack here, guys. Do you know what I mean? I just, And then, so I had a fight there, knocked him out. And then again, your name's on the map. And then from there, you sort of have another one, and you have another one. And slowly but surely, the bigger European circuit starts to get to know your name. I think heavyweights are they're a very sought after fighter, especially a heavyweight that knocks people out, because all people want to see is
that's what they want.
That's what they want. They want to see 2 big geezers just going at it. And if you've got a bit of skill and you have the potential to knock people out, people kind of go, right, you want to jump on my show. So I managed to get to sort of the European shows, and then just went on from there really, and just kept plugging away. And then ended up kind of signing for a big promotion called PFL. Don't know if you've heard of them. The likes of Francis Ngannou signed with them. They picked me up when I was, I think, 5-0, and took me around the world. Then I fought Florida, New York, Paris was a big one. I fought in front of about 15,000 in Paris against the local lad, and cut my teeth on that kind of show. And then it kind of leads on. The UFC kind of know who you are, but are you ready? Who knows? And you just got to keep plugging away until you get the call.
Yeah, and I guess then as you build up and you go to these bigger fights, which are these stronger fighters, or they're more clued up. The tactics of a fight in MMA, like how much is that important to you? And how much do you prepare for that?
Yeah, it's massive, to be fair, and I prepare quite a lot for it. Obviously, I leave a lot down to my coaches, but a lot of it is intuition as well. I think as I've got better and I'm fighting better opposition, I think your IQ goes up. Same with football. If you play with better players, it kind of forces you to play better. And I think I found that with the people I'm sparring, people I'm training with, and the people I'm fighting. It's those sort of little 1% that that help me get better. And that's kind of sort of what you got to keep trying to get better. So you got to keep finding better people to spar, better people to train with. But tactics come down. It's always tactics, whether it's MMA, boxing, cricket. There's always tactics involved. Yeah, there's always going to be football. There's always tactics in sports.
Lou, sorry, Lou. I was just going to ask, when you did start sparring with sort of people, is there anyone particular that you sort of went with or sparred with that sort of really helped you on your journey to become where you are now, shall I say?
Yeah, I
any-
mean, yeah, there's some guys that you may or may not have heard of, but he's actually my coach now. He was a teammate at first, but he's now sort of close to retirement, and he's now actually my coach. His name's Stuart Austin. He'd been in the game a long time. He was a black belt in judo, represented, I think, Great Britain at youth level and stuff like that, transitioned to MMA. But when MMA, no one really heard about it, when kind of just you turn up, have a scrap, don't know who your opponent is. And he'd cut his teeth, and he had made some mistakes along the way. And he's helped me in my career to kind of make, not make the same mistakes and then learn from him. And he's now evolved into my coach. So someone like him, Stuart Austin, who actually beat Tom Aspinall. I don't know if he was the UFC heavyweight champ. So my coach beat him I think in 2016 when Aspinall was up and coming. So, he's got all the credentials. And then you've got the likes of Luke Traynor, who is a Bellator contender at the moment, or it's now a PFL contender. I think he's going to be fighting for the belt sometime next year, the light heavyweight belt. And just people like that. And there's obviously people that come and go, people that come in the sport for a few years, transition from boxing or whatever other sports, and then they leave again and they go off and do other stuff, because this game's unforgiving, to be honest with you. It's not, even if you are a pro, it's not like football. It's very unforgiving. And one wrong move could, you're back stacking shelves at Tesco's or whatever. So, it's an unforgiving sport.
That's the scary part of it in a way, because how often would you say is about the right time to fight a year? Is it 3-4 fights a year, would you say?
I think most fighters, if you ask them, I think 3 to 4, I think 4 fights a year is decent. But it just depends at what level you're at, because the higher level you go, the more stress you're putting on your body, the harder the camps are, the harder the sparring. So, you're talking with someone like UFC, if you can get 3 in a year, that's a really good year. But this year, for example, the year just gone, the last 12 months, I think I've had 5 fights now in the last 12 months.
Wow.
So, I know I needed to do that, though, to get to the UFC. If I didn't do that and stay active and keep on it, the UFC only comes knocking every once in a while. So I knew I had to just rack up those wins and beat good opposition out in Europe and just keep fighting and keep plugging away. And if it didn't work out, I probably wouldn't be talking to you boys.
Well, I mean, and it's so interesting, mate, because I've looked at your record. It's fantastic record. I mean, you went on a 4-winning streak to get to the UFC. How did that all come up? Like, how did it all come about?
So after that 4-fight win streak, I won a belt out in Holland. So I was fighting out in Holland for a little bit. There was a show out there called Levels Fight League, who's really helped me. And that team over there, I won their heavyweight belt. And the guy that held the belt before me was also my teammate, Mario.
Oh, wow.
And he got to the UFC after he won that belt. So I knew there was a blueprint for me, win that belt, tick that box, and hopefully I'd get the call. So once I won that belt, shown a little bit of my personality, I called the UFC out, asked them to sign me up, and then I left it to my manager to see what he could do. And then fast forward about 6 weeks, I was working on the railway, doing a job, turned up to site, and I got a call from one of the top guys at the UFC saying, "Do you fancy fighting?" And we've looked into you. And I said, "Boys, I've got to take the call." And they were like, "No, we've got this job to do." And I was like, "Fuck the job. I need to take the call." So I took the call and I was like, "Yeah, here I am. I'm ready to fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, really."
As long as you weren't holding a ladder, I don't think they'd have minded.
No, I weren't. I wouldn't trust myself to hold a ladder.
But that's the thing that, like, you said you called them out. UFC, boxing, there is an element of you've got to sell yourself. People have to recognize who you are, because as a punter, there's a strong percentage of fans that come because they buy into the character. So
that's
when
right.
You put them out, did you know, right, these are the things I've got to do, and obviously it's worth dividends.
I knew I had to obviously win. Winning is the most important thing. You can call them out and be as flashy as you want or be interesting as you want, but if you don't have enough wins against the right kind of people, I'm not talking about winning against people that are just going to roll over.
Yeah.
you know, winning against people that are going to give you a challenge. And I knew once I got the wins, then I could also get my personality out there. I'm not super quiet. You know, I'm not saying I'm loud, but, you know, I'm not shy or anything like that. And, you know, I call it what it is. And I knew
Yeah,
once
you're
you
from
get
Tottenham, mate. That's why.
yeah, exactly. You can't be shy, can you, really?
No, it's hanging our blood, mate. It's hanging our blood.
So once I got on the mic, I knew that the UFC would like me. So I just knew that I had to get the wins, and then my personality can kind of speak for itself. But you're right, you need to sell yourself. I find that MMA at the moment, you get hardcore fans that love fighting, love the boxing, love to fight, but then you also get a mixture of people that have come from like WWE fans and sort of that era of, you know, it's a mixture, it's a mad mixture, and yeah, people, you need that kind of that showmanship, that sort of, you know, whatever it is, whatever your persona is, whatever you want to be, a hard man, you want to be a funny man, you want to be whatever it is, you know.
I do love the brand. I do like. I've watched all your Instagram and that, and I love the brand. Like, I love the way it comes across, like the Vanilla Gorilla, and then the way you present yourself in the little snippets and that. I like, right on my street. I love all that, man.
I appreciate it, and that's the thing, and the thing, it comes natural to me. If you get what I'm saying, I'm from Tottenham. You know, it's just my personality. My personality comes across. Not everyone's going to like it. I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Some of the Yanks might not like me because, you know, whatever. And even some of the Northerners, you know, you might get, you know, on these UFC cards, you got a lot of Northerners and stuff. You know, these Northerners might not like my style because I'm a Cockney or, you know, a Southerner and all that stuff. So, but fuck it, I don't give a shit. I am who I am, and that's it.
Yeah, and that's the way to be, mate. That is the way to be. And I guess, you know, you then get to this. Like, this was a big deal. This was Abu Dhabi. This is UFC 321. Big,
that's right, yeah.
Big night. Tell us about everything leading up to it. Fight night. How you feeling now?
Well, yeah, it was a massive card, to be fair. It's probably, you know, it obviously went down like a lead balloon because of what happened with the main event.
Yeah.
With Aspinall getting his eyes poked. But so I was meant to fight 3 weeks before that in Australia. So I flew out to Australia for 2 weeks, and then my opponent missed weight. And in the day, obviously on the weigh-in day, the fight got canned. So I flew back to England, and the opponent was like, you know, fairly average. It was obviously going to be a hard contest, but definitely beatable, very, very beatable. You know, unranked, you know, similar styles, both sort of big hitters. You know, it would have been quite fun. I was gutted, so I came back, and then I was on the phone to the UFC, just going, give me anyone. I don't care who it is. And then I got a call asking to fly to Brazil, but they went, look, it's 48 hours notice. Do you reckon you could get here in time? And I said, I'll fight the guy. I don't give a shit. But the flights didn't work out. I wouldn't have landed in time. And then the commission said no. So what I did is I rang back and went, look, I'll fight this geezer in 2 weeks if he wants in Abu Dhabi. And then they called my bluff, and then we called it on. And then this guy was completely different to the other guy I was going to fight. This guy was a grappler. He had won 3 fights by heel hook, which is a nasty submission.
Yes.
You know, you rip the opponent's knee apart.
Oh.
And I thought, 2 weeks notice. He's got 2 weeks to prepare for me as well. He's a ranked opponent. You know, I shouldn't really be fighting ranked opponents yet. I should be cutting my teeth on people that are unranked.
Yeah, Lou, I was going to say, was you surprised by? I mean, I'm a big UFC fan, so obviously I knew about the guy who was fighting, and I thought to myself, you know, how has he got this fight straight away? Because it's a big fight for you, but you know, because he's of some sort of pedigree, he has been in there, obviously a bit longer than you and everything else, and like you said, he's ranked. I was thinking like that's a mad opponent for your first one, but at the same time, are they thinking that you're going to be something fucking special to even give you that fight against someone of that pedigree? So it's a massive compliment to you. But was you shocked at the level of your opponent for that fight?
No, I wasn't shocked. And you know, I don't want to sound a little bit like big-headed or nothing, but I know I belong fighting those types of guys. You know, I think as a fighter, you got to believe you can beat those types of people. You know, but the guy was good, and I called it on. I thought, you know what? I don't know when I'm going to get my next opportunity. I've just been in Australia. I thought these opportunities don't come knocking. And if they call me and you say you'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, and then you go, by the way, do you want to fight this fella? And you're like, not really. Then, you know, your bottle goes. I'm not that type of person. So I just said yes, and I knew I could knock him out. I knew I could beat him on the feet, and if he took me down, there's a chance he's going to beat me. So, sometimes you got to roll the dice. But I think now the UFC know that I'm up for it, and they can call on me whenever they need. And as long as they pay me the right dollar, I'll turn up.
That's it. That's exactly it. Would you say you learned a lot out of there at that fight?
Massive, because it was a massive event. There was big title fights on it. There was a lot of eyes on it. I'm talking, TNT Sport, ESPN, all these people wanting interviews with you, and it just, it makes you feel like a professional. It makes you feel like a celebrity, and you got to deal with that stuff while trying to prepare mentally for a fight. It just puts you in good stead for the next one. So the next time I go, I know what to expect. If I'm ever fighting on a big card, another pay-per-view or whatever, I know what to expect. And none of that stuff really phases me. I knew what I was there to do. I was there to fight, and that's what it comes down to. But it was a good opponent, and I think on another night I would have beat him. I mean, I broke his leg after 2 kicks.
I saw that.
So
Smashed him.
Good shot.
I smashed his leg up. So
that was madness.
Yeah.
Because I mean, do you think, Lou? Obviously, you knew his leg was fucking gone when you done that.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why you were so desperate to get you down, because he wanted out of there quick time? Because I mean,
yes.
how long can you hop around on a broken leg for and fight?
Well, adrenaline's only going to take you so far, and I think maybe another 2 or 3 minutes of that, and he would have been out of there. But I think again that comes down to experience, because I knew he was hurt. And I was like, I'm ready to get him out of here now. And I see that he was scared. I looked at his face, and I was like, this geezer's worried. I'm going to start putting it on him now. And again, once I've done that, little details. I threw the right hand. He took me down. Then obviously it's a domino effect from there. But it's all these little 1%ers. But at the end of the day, I know I've got the power to beat these guys. And I broke his leg after 2 kicks. So it goes to show that, I'm not sort of someone that's going to go in there and just, let you have your way with me. I'm going to try and, hurt you really. So, yeah.
Yeah, mate. I mean, and that's the thing, mate. Go on, Matt.
Kev, can't you jump in the octagon with him, mate? You need a couple of fucking punches.
Tell you what, mate. He don't want me, mate. He don't want me.
No.
I'll tell you what though, someone did mention on the Twitter and said, can we ask Louis to come Mill if we ever get Millwall away in the cup, the FA Cup this with a draw, can we take Louis away to Millwall away over? So Louis, if you're up for that, mate, definitely come.
Oh, definitely. To be fair, I was at the Millwall, when we got them in the cup that time.
6-0 at home. 6-0 at home.
Yeah. And I was sitting right next, and to be fair, I think we was all down at the 2 Brewers at like 6 in the morning.
That's it. Yeah.
And everyone was on the high road. That was a good day. So if we get Millwall away, I'll be there. Give me a shout.
I mean, and all that aside, you know what I mean? Like you say, strong start in the UFC, big eyes, big show, and a really positive year. Look, 5 times in 12 months, 4 big wins. What's 2026 looking like?
Well, I'm going to enjoy Christmas. I'm going to make sure I get all my roast potatoes in and that. So once I've done that and got that out of the way and a bit of drink, I'm back to it. I'm back training every day anyway. I'm in the gym every day. I've took this weekend off, but I'll be in the gym every day, even over Christmas.
Yeah.
2026 is going to be big. I'm hoping to be getting on a.
Oh, he's got at the opportune moment.
He's back. We got you here. Oh. While he's not there, I must say, fantastic. And if you aren't following Louis, it's on his handle on Instagram is at vanilla_gorilla MMA, all one word. So that's at vanilla_gorilla MMA. But yeah, sorry, Louis, just because it was cutting off. What's 2026 looking like? You say you're back in every day.
Yeah, so sorry about that. I don't know what happened, but yeah, 2026. I think March is going to be my next one. That's going to be in London, hopefully on the London card, the O2. So if I get on that, which I should be, I'm probably one of the. There's not many Londoners in the UFC. There's obviously people from the UK. You got some Scousers, some Manx, and some geezers from Birmingham, but not many actual Londoners. So I want to get on that, fight in my own backyard. Make a statement and then go on a nice run again in 2026.
seems like the connection's lost a little bit. But I mean, you know, it's a tough game, right, boys? Like hearing it is a bloody tough game. I know we laugh about it there.
Do you know what? Do you know what I say to people, Lee? Do you know what I say to
Yeah.
people that do this sport is you can play football, you can play rugby, you don't play boxing and MMA. They're not sports you play. So you've got to be a certain character to do them, like, and I think you're seeing from Louis here, like, that's exactly what he's all about. He's a man that can fucking get in there and do a job, and I think we're seeing that from him now. But he's back on, so I'll let him talk again.
Yeah, go on, Louis.
I don't know what you boys keep throwing me out there.
Kev, now he wants me, yeah.
Kev's worried you might take him up on the match.
Once you offered him out for me, you see, I've been kicked out about 3 times. Yeah, like you're saying, it's obviously not a sport you can play. It is a dangerous sport, and you know, you have to be mindful of that. But you don't go into fights thinking about getting hurt and stuff. It's just, I don't know, it's just in some people's nature. And I found out I was good at it, and it's a way to earn some good money. And you know, I like to win. I like to compete. So yeah, that's it. So hopefully 2026 will be a good one, and we knock some more people out. And Spurs might win the league, maybe.
Mate, good you all right. I mean, like, mate, it's absolute pleasure to talk to you, and we'd love to have you on, like, when you know your next fights are coming up. Whenever you want to come on, mate,
Definitely.
we'd love to talk to you about everything that's happening. I guess, you know, being a Spurs fan and this being a Spurs podcast, I've got to ask you, what are some of your greatest memories as a Tottenham supporter over the years?
My best memories over the years at Spurs.
Yeah.
I think one of my first games has got to be one of my favourite memories.
Oh,
Kev, stop kicking him out, fuck's sake.
what was that? What was that
No.
game?
Tell you, mate, I tell you what, you fucking trap off in here, mate.
Is it my connection?
Yeah. Oh shit, he's back.
Yeah, what was that game, Louis?
I can't remember the game. I don't know who it was against, but I remember watching David Ginola. He just
Legend.
I don't know. I can't remember the game. I don't know if it was my first Spurs game. It was early days. It was, you know, going there quite early down the lane, and I remember watching Ginola and thinking he's some player.
Yeah.
And then another good memory of mine was when I had a season ticket when I was younger, and I remember we got into the Champions League and we played Krakow at home.
Oh yeah.
And that game for me was like, it showed me what football was about, European football. You know, there was flares going off, in the Spurs end, kicking off. And I just thought, I don't know how old I was at the time. I could probably check, but I remember thinking, going, I fucking love football. I love this. This is so good. And yeah, that's some of the good memories. And obviously winning that European Cup as well,
Oh.
that's massive.
Yeah, where did you watch that game?
Yeah,
Where
so
did you
memories
watch
like
the
that.
final?
Just say that again.
Where did you watch the final?
I watched the final in the Bricklayers.
Oh, would you? You was in Bricklayers? Oh,
Yeah, I was in the Bricklayers. Yeah, I was in the Bricklayers, and I was actually in camp for that as well, because I remember my manager messaging me, going, "Is that you with a beer I've just seen?" I put a picture up with me with a beer, and I had a fight in 3 weeks, and I thought I'll have one beer. I've got a fight in 3 weeks, but you know what? I don't know when I'm going to see Spurs lift the trophy again. So I had one beer. But I watched it there. But I do like to, you know, if I had the chance, if I wasn't in camp, I would have gone out there. I done that for Madrid. I was out in Madrid when we played Liverpool, and that was some experience as well. I fucking loved that, and I wish we had more nights like that and weekends like that. But yeah, that's some of my best memories. The final in Madrid, winning the European Cup, and then some early ones watching Ginola, and yeah, the Krakow one. Yeah, those kind of ones are all good. And it's just a place, you know, for family. I remember being a young boy going down the bank. Remember the bank pub?
I do.
Yeah, going in there as a really young kid, and just places like that.
That pub will make you turn you from a boy to a man. That pub.
I love going. So yeah.
Yeah, that was a pub. That was a pub. But I mean, like,
It was
yeah,
a pub. Yeah, I remember being
yeah,
such
yeah,
a young
yeah.
boy in there thinking, what?
What's your favourite one now? Bricklayers? Would you say you like getting in there most?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, because you know the bar staff in there and stuff, and faces change. I think I've been to the Two Brewers a while ago. I haven't been to the Bill Nick in a little while, but yeah, the bricklayers and stuff. You know, the sort of family friends, and you meet familiar faces in there. But I don't get down as often as I'd like now because I'm always training. So if we've got a big game on, even the Arsenal game, I was going to try and go down there and have a watch and whatnot. And, someone invited me to the Bill Nick. They were doing something at the Bill Nick.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I can, I'll try and get down. But, I just couldn't because I was training. So, but yeah, it's just, yeah. The Coaching Horses is a decent one as well. I know a few of the lads that go down there.
I'd say they're my two favourites. Be either like, but Coach and Bricklayers. I guess when I've been knocking about the boys in here, we've always gone in there, which is always good. Always good nights.
Yeah.
And you're Chick King fan? You in or out with Chick King?
Yeah.
Good man.
Chick King, I'm down there every Saturday.
Yeah.
Without fail.
That's the one.
Even
What's your go-to? What do you always get?
My go-to order.
Yeah.
You got enough time? How much time?
Tell us. What's right for a UFC fighter in Chick King?
I normally go for a chicken burger with cheese and chips.
Yeah.
I get 4 pieces in chips.
Yeah.
And I get 6 wings and a milkshake.
Oh,
that ties me over.
Is that for the family or just you?
That's what winners eat.
Hence why I'm a heavyweight.
That's what winners eat. I love it. Louis, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. The last thing I'll ask you is the next 2 games, one in Europe, big game, Prague at home, sunny there, and Forest away. Do you see 2 wins? What do you see coming out of those?
I think, is it Slava Prague we got in it?
Yeah, we're at home.
That's going to be a tough one, I think. I know them. Didn't their fans get banned from the Ajax? During the Ajax one, and that they're quite rowdy. So I think that might help the away fans. Oh, the home fans.
Yeah,
it's a tough place to go. I'll be happy with a draw there. Forest. I would say on a run 2-0 Spurs against Forest.
We'll take that.
The draw against Prague. Yeah.
4 points. We'll take that across the group.
Louis, Prague's at White Lane.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to be too optimistic because in my head I'm like, yeah, we're going to smash both of them, but I know it ain't like
that's what we do.
So
I'm
trying to be a little bit modest.
Lou, does it change anything that Prague's at White Hart Lane?
Yeah, because Son's coming back, isn't he?
Louis gone again. Prague's at White Hart Lane. Does that change anything? Nah, he's gone, mate.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, one thing we didn't touch upon for the Slavia Prague, and I wonder if they've done it because ticket sales and whatnot. TJ, what do you think? The Sunny turning up, do you think that's done to get people in the ground?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. They got his team got knocked out at MLS about 4 rounds ago, so he's been available for about 3 weeks. So they've picked the Champions League game because it's. I mean, the fact that the pricing of the Champions League games in itself is bad, and then so they picked that so that they've got someone to give a reason to spend that money. Because I'm telling you now, everyone I know is trying to sell that one.
It's quite annoying though that you can't even post it on exchange because then you won't get the loyalty points.
Oh really? Can't post it.
Yeah, you have to go to those games, Matt, to get points. That's kind of.
Yeah, I know. You know what I mean, no T. If you'd post it on exchange, you'd be doing that all day.
Yeah, 100%.
Look, TJ, what do you think?
Can't he pretend to be Tell and take his position just for the evening?
Yeah, fucking too right,
Might need him. Yeah. That's it. But I guess, TJ, Lou was saying there he'd be happy with a draw and a thing. What do you reckon from the 2 games?
I think Prague we got to win. Like if we're looking to compete in the Champions League, you'll go and win that one because we haven't played bad in the Champions League. I don't think. I think the PSG game we played well, even though we lost. But I think we need at least 2 more wins to kind of guarantee that sort of qualification place into the next round. So, and I think this is the easiest of the 3 games we've got left. So yeah, definitely we got to go out to win that one on Tuesday. And listen, apart from Arsenal away, I think we've been a bit of a force away. If you look at the league table, away games only, we're top. So there's no one to fear when we go away. And I think going to Forest, they're in a bit of a topsy-turvy period themselves. I fancy 2 wins this week. I really do.
Take that. Kev, are you as optimistic?
Yeah, I mean Prague. I mean, that Dortmund game is going to be quite tricky, and Frankfurt away ain't easy as well. So it's a must win really. To I don't know, Tej, is it 4 points we need now, or is it 6 enough?
Yeah, unofficially. So the way it works is that to finish in the top 8, you need to get 15 points. That guarantees you top 8. To finish in the next section, which is the playoffs, which is the top 24, you need 12 points. 11 points on goal difference gets you through, but 12 points guarantees it. We're on 8. So we need a win and a draw, technically, to get through to the next stage. But we really should be aiming for as high as possible now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think, well, if TJ's clued up on that, I think the club are, and they're probably stressed to how important this one is, considering the last couple of games we got. So, yeah, I mean, I can't see nothing but a win. Forest away, I mean, it's me and TJ went up there a couple of years ago, and it's one of the loudest fucking grounds you can go to. It's proper old school still. So if you can quiet them fans down at Forest, which I think we can do with our away form, I think we've got a bit of character away, and if we can quieten them down and get a nice couple of early goals, I don't see nothing else but a win there either. So yeah, big game, but I'll have 2-1 on both games.
Nice, May. What are you thinking?
Do you know what? We're such a reactionary fan base here. Last week when we lose, everyone would be like, "Oh, mate, we're going to lose both, mate. I don't see anything." But yeah, damn right, we're winning both. We're winning both. Simple as that.
Love it. Love it. Optimism is the key. I mean, it's been a great pod. Great to be back, all of us together. Louis, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you, mate. Have a good Christmas. Enjoy your bloody drink. Work hard. And we can't wait to see you smash them all up in 2026, mate.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been good.
Come back.
Can't wait to do it again.
Yeah, we'll have that in March.
Thanks,
Nice one.
We'll be back next week. Obviously, we've got the big game, Sonny's return. We'll be talking about that. And we'll be back next week to talk about what is a 2:00 Sunday kickoff against Forest. So we'll be back next week to talk about what is hopefully, and that the whole lot have said, a nice brace of wins. But this is a Heart Now Spurs Fans podcast. We'll see you next week. It's been a good week. Let's carry this on. Come on, you Spurs.
Up Spurs.